Welcome, welcome, everybody. Welcome back to Born CEO Leadership Academy, episode number 3. We are going into step number 3 in the book, Born to Rule, 7 Steps to Claiming Your Freedom and Living Your Purpose. And I'm so excited. Tonight is one of my favorite of the steps because this is the step that leads people to financial independence, to financial freedom, to time freedom as well. And so, as you all know, my favorite question, first of all, I'm Coach Fard Bell, for those joining us for the first time, here in Sacramento, California, founder of BornCEO Leadership Academy, creator of BornCEO.com. And today I'm very grateful to be an author, a speaker, and success coach. But what I'm most excited about is seeing people get it, seeing the light bulb come on for people, where we go from not having the clarity to having the clarity and seeing a clear path to becoming financially free and becoming the leaders we were born to be. From going from thinking about it or talking about it to actually taking the baby steps in that direction, and then seeing the confidence build, seeing the momentum build, and then seeing people look up and start seeing those results finally start to kick in. And next thing you know, we're affecting others, and others are starting to get free. So I'm super excited to be here this evening, and to jump into step 3, chapter 3 of Born CEO, Born to Rule, I should say, 7 steps to claiming your freedom and living your purpose. And so let me share my screen and we will jump right in to the info. So first of all, I know a bunch of people are joining us. So let me just kind of share for those that are just joining us for the first time. We started 2 weeks ago in the series going through my book, Born to Rule. In step number 1, chapter 1, we discussed the concept of becoming the queen or king of your domain. And what does that look like to become the queen or king of your domain? We talked about your purpose, your passion, your gift, and how everybody is born with a gift to serve to the world. And when you discover your gift, and the problem that you were born to solve, you quickly start to realize that your gift is the solution to the problem that you were born to solve. And the people who have the problem you were born to solve are the people that you're born to serve. There's a certain group of people you're born to serve. There's a certain problem you were born to solve, and your gift is the solution to that problem. But the biggest thing I want people to really grasp is something that I've come to realize and firmly believe, and that is that all the money you'll ever need is hiding behind your gift. All the money you'll ever need is hiding behind your gift. We don't have to chase money. We don't have to, work hard, stress ourselves out trying to pay the bills. When we discover our gift and the true value of your gift, you start to realize that no job can ever pay you what your gift is actually worth. So we're going to get into that a little bit tonight, but step 1 in claiming your freedom and living your purpose is discovering your purpose, discovering your gift, discovering your true identity, the leader that you were born to be. So go back to episode 1 if you missed it. It lays that foundation. And just remembering that who we are, we are spiritual beings in a physical body. And that's really important to understand. True success and alignment, we can't talk about true lasting success and alignment without talking about who we are in spirit, our spiritual identity. So you're going to catch that as we grow together. And when I say spiritual identity, I am not talking about religion at all, at all. In fact, I think that religion can either be a great training wheel to lead us into true freedom, or it can be the prison that keeps us from true freedom. So I'm not here to talk about religion, but to understand who we are spiritually is the key to really understanding our purpose, understanding the power of our gift, understanding why we're here, what we're born to do, and the true value and the promises that are here. The birthright that we have for abundance is tied to serving our gift, fulfilling our purpose, which is to serve our gift, a big part of our purpose. So that's episode 1. And then in episode 2, chapter 2, skill number 2, step number 2, I should say, we discussed owning your choices. Owning your choices. Because until we own our choices, we continue to let our circumstances be dictated by other people or other things that we're blaming for our circumstances. And when we finally take charge of our own choices and we realize how much authority and power we've been given to choose wisely, then we can start to change things in our lives. We can start changing things in our environment. We can start changing things in our community when we step in the authority that we've been given. The power to serve, the power to influence, the power to change. And we start to realize that some of the very things that we may be complaining about, we've been given the power and authority to fix, to change. We are the person. So that was chapter 2, step number 2 in the 7 steps. And then today we go into, this might be my favorite chapter. It might be my favorite chapter. Between step 1 and step 3. I mean, I'm probably going to say that about more than one chapter, but this one is so loaded. It's a series in itself. Like I could literally do a 12-part series just on step number 3 alone, because it introduces the concept of ruling your time as well as controlling your cash flow. So let's jump right into it today. I see people starting to join in. Welcome, welcome. So let's start off with our Born CEO introductions. And so first of all, let's get in the right frame of mind. Imagine that you have complete time and financial freedom. All your bills are more than paid. You don't have to worry about money, think about money anymore. You're taken care of, your family's taken care of. The bills are more than paid, and you don't even have to work for money anymore. It's coming in. You've got enough early retirement income flowing into your life that all of your bills are paid whether you work or not. So now you're no longer working for money. You have access to all the resources that you need, the people that you need. Imagine all of this, and here's the question. If you could only do one thing to make a positive impact in this world using your gift, what would that one thing be? What is that problem that you would be known for solving? And what is that group of people you would be serving? I want you to keep that in mind as you talk about your dream. So you may have some financial goals that you're going after in life or in business. I want you to think beyond the financial goals. What is this problem you were born to solve? What are you going to do with that success from your financial goals? What's that number one problem you'll solve? So when you talk about your dream, talk about that. I'll kick us off with an example, and then we'll go around and have you fill in the blanks and say your name instead of my name, and your dream instead of my dream, and your goal this year instead of my goal this year. So my name is Coach Fard Bell, and I am the Born CEO of My Life Incorporated. One of my ultimate dreams is to be a reverse tither, where I can live on 10% and you strategically utilize the other 90% to transform lives all over the world, help people discover their purpose, to help people claim their freedom and live their purpose. My goal this year is to empower a dozen more families to become financially independent and pursue their calling, their dream, their life's work. Once again, my name is Coach Fard Bell, and I'm the born CEO of My Life Incorporated. Who's next? Jump right in, just fill in the blanks, follow the same format. Don't add anything to it, just keep it simple. If you've been around, go first to lead the way for everybody else. Miss Shelley, will you kick us off? Oh, the audio. Let me see. Okay, no worries. All right. So if you're just joining us, go ahead and jump right on in. Just follow this format for us. Miss Rita, you joining us? Oh, Miss Evelyn. Oh, is everybody having an audio issue?
Okay. My name is Rita Borges, and I'm a born CEO of My Life Incorporated. My ultimate dream is to travel cross country and pay people's groceries in supermarkets anonymously. My goal this year is to get LASIK on my eyes and travel to South America. Once again, my name is Rita Borges, and I'm the born CEO of My Life Incorporated.
All right, everybody unmute, make some noise if you can. Congratulations in advance. Welcome home. Who's next? Jump right in. Miss Evelyn, Miss Morgan, Tommy.
Okay, I'll go. My name is Evelyn Gavino, and I'm the born CEO of My Life Incorporated. My ultimate dream is to establish a center for divorced women to get back their confidence. And my goal this year is to help retirees like me bridge the gap in income retirement. Once again, my name is Evelyn Gavino, and I'm the born CEO of My Life Incorporated.
All right, unmute, make some noise, everybody. Woo woo! Welcome home, Miss Evelyn. I love it. Every time you go, you'll get more and more clear on your dream and your goal. Go ahead, Mr. Oho or Mr. Ojo.
Yeah, can you all hear me okay?
Yes, sir.
Oh, good. My name's Tommy Ojo. I'm the bond CEO of My Life Incorporated. My ultimate dream is oh sorry, I had it on my mind just now. Okay, my ultimate dream is to empower young I guess African American men to realize their dreams in the field of science, technology, engineering, and math. And my goal this year is to, I guess, to be financially independent and not have to worry about bills and things like that. Once again, my name is Tommy Ojo, and I'm the bond CEO of My Life Incorporated.
All right, unmute, show them some love, everybody. Woo woo! Love it. Welcome home. Who's next?
I just got on, so I'm assuming you want us to.
Yes, yes, sir. Just fill in the blanks. And when you get to your dream, think beyond business, beyond money. When you already have freedom, what's the one problem you want to solve in this world with your gift? The one group of people you want to serve when you're sharing your ultimate dream, like what you're going to do to make a positive impact in this world when you have the time and financial freedom that you're seeking. That's the ultimate dream part, your goal this year, and then finish it off with the final sentence there.
I'll go next. All right. My name is Jesse Hardy, and I am the born CEO of my life, incorporated. My ultimate dream is to be in a position, so that I don't have to worry about the finances. I have a lot of goals, and I would like to not be. I don't want to have to worry about um, finances. I want. I'm messing up already. I'm sorry.
No, there's no messing up. What are you going to do after you are free from finances, having to worry about finances? What one thing are you going to do to make a difference in the world?
Well, be in position to be able to be a blessing and to my church home, my community, through operating my companies, several companies. So yeah, I just want to be a help and a blessing.
Okay.
Uh,
And number three?
and my goal this year is to become debt free.
Okay. And number four?
And once again, my name is Jesse Hardy, and I am the born CEO of My Life Incorporated.
Awesome job, everybody. Unmute if you can. Make some noise. Woo woo. Welcome home, Mr. Hardy. Who's next?
Okay, I'll go. My name is Nicole Fitzgerald, and I am the born CEO of My Life Incorporated. My ultimate dream is to help women who are victims of domestic violence to become survivors of domestic violence. And my goal for this year is to, like Jesse, become debt-free. That's my ultimate goal. And once again, my name is Nicole Fitzgerald, and I am the born CEO of My Life Incorporated.
All right. Make some noise, everybody. Woo woo. We don't have enough people unmuting tonight. Come on, y'all. All right. Who's next? If you haven't gone yet, it's your turn.
I'll go next.
Yes,
My
ma'am.
name is Tawana Foster, and I'm the born CEO of My Life Incorporated. My ultimate dream is to continue to be a resource person to help individuals with multiple problems that they're having with life. And my goal this year is also to become debt-free in order to assist others with their problems. Once again, my name is Tawana Foster, and I'm the born CEO of My Life Incorporated.
And before we go, what's one of those big problems? If you could only help people solve one problem, what would be that biggest one that comes to mind?
Dealing with anxiety, depression from the biblical standpoint, because God had given me the acronym SAD. Stress, anxiety, depression is not of Him. So we need to get that little monkey off our shoulder.
All right. And let's do number four one more time.
Once again, my name is Tawana Foster, and I'm the born CEO of My Life Incorporated.
All right. Woo woo. Love it. Anybody else? Don't be shy. Every time it's supposed to be sloppy when you do it the first time, and then every week you start getting clearer and clearer. The more you say it and put it out there, the clearer you get on your vision, and it'll get more and more clear as you go. And so if you're just joining us, you're just introducing yourself using this short 4-sentence format. When you get to number two, your ultimate dream, we want to hear about beyond your financial success. What are you going to do then? What are you going to do to make a positive impact in this world with your gift? If you could only do one thing to make a positive impact, what would that problem be that you would solve, and or that group of people you would serve? So if you haven't gone yet, go ahead and unmute, jump right in, and introduce yourself. Going once, going twice.
Okay, I'll go.
All
It
right,
got
there we
quiet
go.
in my house. Give me 1 second. Everybody was in the house. I couldn't talk at that time.
Oh, too much noise. Okay.
It says, my name is Shelly Jasper, and I am the born CEO of My Life Incorporated. My ultimate dream is to help the children that foster out of foster system to get on with life and show them how to live life. My goal this year is to go to Florida and see how they're doing it, so I'll know how to bring it to Louisiana and do it here. Once again, my name is Shelly Jasper, and I'm the born CEO of My Life Incorporated.
Woo woo! All right, congrats in advance. I love it. Anybody else, you haven't introduced yourself yet? You're just gonna follow this 4-part format, these 4 short sentences, and fill in the blank. When you talk about your ultimate dream, think beyond money, beyond your current constraints, and what are you gonna do to make an impact in this world? One thing. If you can only do one thing, what problem would you solve? What people would you serve using your gift when you share
Mr.
your ultimate dream? Who's next?
Mr. Farbell, can I go again?
You
Can I go again?
can.
Okay, all right, all right, all right. My name is Jesse Hardy, and I'm the born CEO of My Life Incorporated. My ultimate dream is to teach people how to play gospel music, not having to worry about finances. And my goal this year is to become debt free. Once again, my name is Jesse Hardy, and I am the born CEO of My Life Incorporated.
I love it. I love
Woo!
it. Woo woo! Oh, we need you, brother. Everybody, we need your gift. This is why we do this. There's a method to my madness, everybody. And just this exercise alone is a part of the transformation process. You'll see it as you go, as you stick around the environment. Watch the clarity that people get. Being in an environment where you're expected to be free and you're expected to make that difference in this world that you were born to make. Unfortunately, many of us are not in that type of environment, so we don't become all that we can become because we don't have the positive peer pressure that expects us to become who we were born to be. And all of that has changed today. Welcome to Born CEO Leadership Academy. Is there anyone else? Ms. Falana?
Yes, I was just trying. Hi,
All
Coach
right.
Barbell. How are you doing? And everyone
Fantastic.
else. My name is Falana Williams Jones, and I am the born CEO of My Life Incorporated. My ultimate dream is to help others see what they do not see in themselves and let them teach them how they can rise above the norm and know that everything that you've ever been through in your past is only to help you succeed in the future. And my goal this year is to start speaking and doing live videos. Once again, my name is Falana Williams Jones, and I am the born CEO of My Life Incorporated, also known as Inspire to Emerge.
Woo woo! Make some noise. Welcome home. I felt that. I
Woohoo!
love it. All right, family. Y'all got me fired up already. I get excited when people start to own their gift, own their life's work. And for those who weren't here earlier, I'm a firm believer that all the money you'll ever need is hiding behind your purpose. And so tonight we are in step 3, rule your time. Step 3 in my book, Born to Rule, the 7 steps to claiming your freedom and living your purpose. So let's jump right in to our topic of tonight. So one thing I want to remind everyone is that life is often spelled Time, because whatever you've traded your time for is literally what you've traded your life for. So when I think about that, and I think about the end of my life, looking backwards, and I'm thinking, what did I trade my life for? And was it worth it? If the answer is yes, I want you to write down, why was it worth it? What will make you proud of what you traded your life for? What will make your creator proud that you traded your life for the very thing you were sent here to do? What comes up for you? I was 14 years old when I went to live with my stepdad, and I auditioned to get into a performing arts high school called Duke Ellington School of the Arts in Washington, D.C. And I remember coming home, and my dad was always listening to audios, and I didn't know I was a nerd yet back then. So I wasn't really interested in any of those things, but I came home one day and he was listening to an audio book by a guy named Napoleon Hill.
There are people who are
Um,
highly
let me mute out the lines here. And that gentleman, Napoleon Hill, is most famous for a book called Think and Grow Rich. Think and Grow Rich. And it introduced me to a lot of biblical success principles that I didn't understand before then. But the audiobook was called The Science of Personal Achievement. And I'll never forget hearing him say something that really got to me, because I was already seeking my purpose. For those who were listening in on episode 1, I told my backstory of how I didn't want to be alive by the age of 6. And I had a defining moment that turned everything around and assured me that there was something I was put here to do. And that gave me something to live for. And when I started to seek out my purpose, I had a lot of questions because I didn't have any answers for a long time. But I came home, when I walked in the door, the first thing I heard on this audio book, he said, after studying the 500 most successful people in the world for 20 years, the number one thing they all had in common is they found their definite major purpose in life, and they dedicated their lives to that one single purpose. That statement got my attention, and I felt like God was tapping me on the shoulder and saying, pay attention, I want you to hear this. There's some answers to your questions in here. So I start listening to this Napoleon Hill guy. And one of the 17 laws of achievement, these are universal laws, I call biblical success principles is what I like to call them. And one of them was the habit of budgeting time, not just money. The habit of budgeting time, not just money. I never heard that before. Some of you have never heard that before until right now. Wow, that would be a good idea. We know why it would be valuable to budget our money, but we also know that time is way more valuable than money. We can always make more money, but we can never get back more time. So I did my first time budget at 14 years of age. And a time budget is when you take like a week at a glance. You can Google a week at a glance. In fact, I have one for Born CEOs. Maybe I'll email it out. But when you, actually, you might have gotten it automatically when you created your account. I'll check on that with my webmaster. But Google week at a glance. In fact, you can go to BornCEO.com/planner, BornCEO.com/planner, and there's some time management resources there. And one of them is a week at a glance document. And it's when you take your 24 hours that you have in a day and you allocate them according to your dream life. The one I created, it has your current life on one and your dream life on the other. Remember, life is often spelled T-I-M-E. You can literally examine your life by looking at where your time is going. And one day we're going to look back, and that's going to be the primary thing. What did I do with my time? The time that I had. What did I do with it? What did I trade it for? And this was the first time I realized that we only have 24 hours in a day. And if we sleep for 8 hours, we really only have 16 hours a day awake. So when I drew out my dream life, like I started allocating, thinking about the different areas of life, you know, spiritual health, financial health, family, relationships, my purpose, lifestyle, having fun, you know, I mapped it all out what an ideal 24 hours would look like, really 16 hours. I was so excited, I showed it to my stepdad. And I'll never forget, my stepdad looked it over and he said, yeah, this is all great, but how are you paying your bills? And I said, what do you mean? He said, how are you paying your bills? When I look at everything you wrote, you didn't put anything on here about how you're paying your bills. And I went, oh, I forgot that part. I was so busy thinking about my dreams, I hadn't given any consideration to bills. That's a clue right there. So then I started thinking, okay, I need to allocate some of this 16 hours, some of these 16 hours towards income production so that I can pay my bills and then live this life. And when I found out that people that make a great living, it's common that they'll work 10, 12 hours a day, 50, 60 hours a week to make a great living, I was crushed. Because I did the math and I said, wait, if I go that route and I work 12 hours a day for money, that means I only have 4 hours left to cram this 16-hour dream life into. And that didn't make sense to me. I started talking to God, like, is this the plan? We're supposed to work 10, 12 hours a day and only have 4 hours left to do what you put us here to do, to be who you created us to be, to live the life you want us to be able to live and enjoy. Something was wrong. Something was off. I knew it at 14 years old. I didn't know what it was, but I knew something wasn't right about that picture. But everybody was doing it. It seemed. It seemed like everybody was doing it. How many know oftentimes the key to success is to find out what the majority are doing and do the exact opposite? How many figure that out sometimes? Because oftentimes the majority, unfortunately, is going the wrong way. And if we find ourselves just doing what everyone else is doing, we look up and oftentimes it's too late and we turn back and go, man, I thought everything was just going to work out following everybody else. And then we find ourselves falling into the same traps as everyone else. How many know what I'm talking about? Put a 1 in the chat if you know exactly what I'm talking about. So it was troubling me. I'm like, man, how am I going to pay my bills when I'm 14 years old? My dad gave me the best motivational speech ever for a kid like me. He said, figure out what you're going to do with your life, because when you're 18, you're on your own. My dad was brilliant. He took us out to be homeless one time. He said, hey, you got choices. If you don't want to educate yourself, you don't want to do anything with your life, you can always be homeless. He showed us what it was like, took us out there, showed us the dumpsters, showed us the trash cans, how cold it was. And me and my brother, we were like, oh, we don't want to be homeless, right? I know it scared me straight early on. And then he said, when you're 18, you're getting out. 18, you're on your own, so figure it out. So I'm like, 4 years is going to come real quick. I better figure this out before all the bills kick in. And so I'm trying to figure this thing out. And then one day these infomercials come on television. Y'all know those infomercials about financial independence, financial freedom. And I never paid attention to any of them before. But now my mind was in that place. Like, I'm already asking the right question. Is there a better way? Is there a better way? Is there a smarter way? And I'll never forget, this infomercial came on by a guy named Carlton Sheets back in the East Coast, at least in the 90s. Really popular infomercial called No Down Payment. It was about real estate investing and passive income. But what I remember the most is that there were people of all ages on that giving testimonials. Some of them were in their older age and said, hey, I didn't have much of a retirement, but I started investing in these income producing properties. And now I've got another stream of retirement income flowing in. And then these 20-something-year-olds got on saying the same thing. Like, yeah, I've got these income generating properties, and I've got retirement income in my 20s. And I remember going, wait a minute. I thought you had to be retirement age before you reached retirement income. But these people are saying they found a way to create retirement income before they reach retirement age. If this is true, I need to learn everything there is to know about this topic. And that's when I started to understand what it means to work smarter instead of harder. I also learned very quickly that there were no classes on that in school. The school curriculum was not designed to teach me how to work smarter instead of harder. It was taught me how to read, taught me how to write, taught me how to do arithmetic. Nothing about financial independence, time freedom, financial freedom, discovering my purpose. So I realized quickly that if I was going to learn that, I was going to have to learn that outside of traditional education. And I also realized that if I didn't take the time to learn, it would be my fault that I follow the same path as the majority of people. So anyway, that started the beginning. I started studying this concept of early retirement income. I set a goal. I was going to find a way to retire by 25 years old so my time would be free to do what I was put on this earth to do. And this is where the concept of rule your time comes in. That principle I learned, what I ended up learning over several years, allowed me to retire 40 years early from corporate America at the age of 22 years old. Now, when some people hear that, they immediately think a lot of money. But if you really listen to what I'm saying, it has nothing to do with the amount of money. It has to do with the amount of time that I got back. It was like having an extra 40, 50, 60 hours a week of my life back. Time, not money, time. So as we go into this chapter 3, step number 3, rule your time, we're going to discuss how to break free, how to rule your time and control your cash flow so that you are in a position where you don't have to wait until retirement age to start creating retirement income, and you can take charge of your time early and have more time to do what you were put here to do, to be who you were put here to be, to live like you were put here to live. So I want you to repeat to yourself, I am the born CEO of my time. I even have a Born CEO watch that reminds me, I am the born CEO of my time. Whenever I look at it, I'm the born CEO of my time. What's the most valuable use of my time right now? What is my ultimate dream right now? What am I doing that's moving me closer towards my ultimate dream, my calling, my purpose? So one reminder is until you learn to control money, money will control your life. And as long as money controls your life, you'll never find true happiness and fulfillment. I hope we've got some teenagers listening in early, getting this early. Please bring back the teenagers. I'm giving the things I was looking for when I was 14 years old and teaching it in a way that my 14-year-old brain could understand and start taking baby steps in that direction to avoid the traps, to correct the generational curses. So let's jump right in. This is a must-read book. This is another book that helped me understand some biblical success principles that were going over my head. This book, Cash Flow Quadrant, buy the book, Cash Flow Quadrant. Get the audio book, Cash Flow Quadrant by Robert Kiyosaki. It's the second book in the Rich Dad, Poor Dad book series. To me, it's the most important one because it covers everything from Rich Dad, Poor Dad, but it goes into the guide to financial freedom. This is the book that helped me understand how to transition my mindset so that I can work the plan that ended up allowing me to retire 40 years early at the age of 22 years old. So I could pursue my life, pursue my calling. And so this is a part of the Born CEO curriculum. And let me give you my version of this process. I'm about to share with you what I call the ABCs of financial independence. The ABCs of financial independence. So first of all, the A in the ABCs stands for attain a consistent income. Attain a consistent income. These are practical steps that everybody can take right now to accelerate the path to financial independence, to accelerate it. Practical steps. You know, I've seen a lot of books, read a lot of books, and then afterwards I was like, where do I start? This is where to start. Practical steps right now. You can teach your children. You can do it together. We can start to create generational wealth, not now, but right now with these simple ABCs and 1, 2, 3s. That's one of my gifts, is to take complicated or overwhelming concepts and break them down into frameworks, formulas and frameworks that are easy for the mind to grasp and easy to apply. And then at that point, we can't use the excuse that we don't know or don't understand. No longer is that an option. Now we're just focused on what will it take for us to apply it. It's simple. Now let's execute it together. So A stands for attain consistent income. In the book Cash Flow Quadrant, he teaches us that there's 4 ways to earn income. And there's 2 sides of money. There's the left side, and then there's the right side. On the left side is where most of us are taught to earn our income. E stands for employee, and S stands for self-employed. And those 2 quadrants, we are trading time for money. I call it employing your time, employing our time. My first income source was employing my time. I was self-employed, too young to get a traditional job, but I ended up pulling weeds for my neighbor's yard. I shoveled snow, I baked cake and took it to school by the slice. I was trading time for money. And that was how I learned to employ my time to start creating income. And as I created a consistent work schedule, even though I was self-employed, it started to create a consistent income. So the myth that may be out there for those who are afraid of being self-employed and, or commissions, that sort of thing, it's not about commission doesn't mean inconsistent income. Consistent income comes from a consistent, productive schedule based on income-producing activities. So if you can continue to focus on income-producing activities, even if it's commission or not, you can create a consistent income by controlling a consistent schedule built on income-producing activities. That's another lesson. I have a coaching program for business owners, transitioning into self-employment or building a small business into a big business. So we'll talk about that. So A, can create a consistent income from your job as an employee or self-employment. Ultimately, our goal is to be able to employ our gift. Employ our gift, whether you serve it for free or whether you people pay you for your gift. People are going to want to pay you or support you in your cause, whether you would go the for-profit route or the nonprofit route. When you start honing your gift and solving the problem you were born to solve, I promise you, all the money you'll ever need is hiding behind your gift. So anyway, A is attain a consistent income. And then B stands for build. Build one B quadrant residual income business or a legitimate network marketing business. When he talked about the B quadrant, it stands for big business. The key to freedom, the pathway to freedom, is we might work 9 to 5 on our job, but as the great Jim Rohn said, it's what we do from 5 to 9 that fuels our fortune. The freedom plan is what we do outside of our daytime job. What I do from 9 to 5 pays my bills. What I do from 5 to 9 sets me free. So the B quadrant, he said there's 3 ways to build a B quadrant business. In the B quadrant, you're different from an self-employed person. You own a system that employs others, and that system generates income whether you work or not. Most of us were taught to go to work for somebody who owns a B quadrant system that employs us, but we were never given permission. We never gave ourselves permission to be on the other side of money, where we own a system that other people work and it generates cash flow so we can get free and teach others how to get free. It's one of the most sickening mindsets I've ever seen, where we think it's okay to work for someone else, but it's a scam or it's scary or we're not worthy of having a system that employs others. We've got to break that mental curse. And as we do that, and we understand that freedom comes from having 3 things in place in the B quadrant: the right core systems in place that work with or without you after you build it up, number 1. Number 2, the right core team in place that you've taught to run that system with or without you. And then number 3, having the right managers or leaders in place that keep it working. Y'all already figured it out, with or without you. Those 3 simple things. It's 3 things. No, the world of business can be very complicated, but we don't have to buy into complications. Let's keep it simple. When we keep it simple, we break it down. We can start breaking down in the small baby steps, and we can, like a lion, eat that elephant one bite at a time. But also eat that elephant with a team. It's not just on us. So you learn that in the B quadrant. He said there's 3 ways to go into the B quadrant and become a true business owner. Number 1 is you can start a company from scratch and build it into a big business that employs 500 or more people. I think Shark Tank, you borrow a bunch of money, borrow $1 million or so, and put the system in place, and millions of dollars on the line. And if everything goes well, you can be one of the wealthiest, one of the most prosperous. But for most people, that's a very difficult path. That's not the path for most people. You're going to go full-time cold turkey, and most people aren't ready for that. Small percentage of people can take that route. So the second option, he said, is to buy into a franchise where somebody else already created the system for you. So, wow, I don't have to worry about creating the system. Somebody already paid the dues. They spent a lot of money to perfect the system, a lot of time, a lot of experience, a lot of mistakes to perfect this system. Now, all I have to do is buy into the system, pay my fair share, hundreds of thousands of dollars or millions of dollars, depending on the level of the franchise. My mentor said, you're going to invest about 5 times what you want to make per year in a franchise. So if you want to make $200,000 a year, times 5, you probably invest $1 million. So that's the franchise model. How many people have $1 million laying around? How many people ready to go cold turkey full time into a business venture? Right? Not most people. So franchising is safer than starting a company from scratch, because you got to build the system, do it all yourself. Franchise, they've done it for you. You're building a company within the company. So it's a safer path to freedom. And then he said the third option he thought was a scam for years, until one of his wealthy real estate professional friends started a network marketing business. And he says, why would you do something like that? You don't need the money. He said, of course I don't need the money. So why would you be doing something like that? You're a successful real estate investor. You teach other people how to become successful real estate investors. There must be something I'm missing that you would get involved with one of those little network marketing things. And he said, the reason why I'm in network marketing is because although I have the business education as an entrepreneur that helped me succeed as an investor, most of the people I'm teaching how to invest do not have that foundation of entrepreneurial development. And the best entrepreneurial development school on the planet is a good, legitimate network marketing business that has a built-in leadership and entrepreneurial development program. Because you can't learn entrepreneurship in the classroom. You got to get into business and have mentors and role models to guide you. He said, when I put people in my network marketing business, they're able to start learning the business skills, developing as an entrepreneur, and building up the capital to invest with me. So that made Robert Kiyosaki start to investigate the world of network marketing. And he saw that there are some scams out there. There are some things that aren't legitimate out there. But for the most part, it's a very viable business model that is producing more millionaires out of average everyday people than any business model on the planet. So he said that's the third way. You can start part-time. There's a system built in. If it's a good program and you're part of a good team, they already have a proven system. Make sure they already have a proven system in place, mentors in place, and plug into it. You can start part-time, 10, 15 hours a week, and they'll groom you how to become financially independent. So I took that path. That was the path that allowed me to retire 40 years early at the age of 22 years old. Haven't had to work a job since 2002. Been living on that passive residual income since. So He said, what happens though, as you build up that system, that model, your business can now start to invest in things that you may not have been able to afford had you not built a business big enough to afford what you can. It's leverage. You got lots of people contributing to your income and systems and resources and networks. So he said, you take the money from your B quadrant business and you dump it into the I quadrant, which stands for investor. And now your money starts to make more money for you. And now you're no longer a slave to money. You're no longer a slave to bills. You have leverage income, passive income, residual income, dividend income, royalty income, something that's generating cash flow without you. And that's the key to freeing up our time. So B is to build one B quadrant residual income business or a legitimate network marketing business. You're going to set up a separate business account. You're probably going to set up an LLC. And then you're going to pay yourself out of the business account into your personal account. Treat it like a real business and pay yourself. And now you got another income source as you build it. So A, attain a consistent income. B, build one residual income business. Why am I emphasizing one? Because there's a myth of multiple streams of income. And the myth of multiple streams of income, what I used to think was multiple streams was multiple drizzles. Multiple drizzles of income. Anybody try to do too many things at one time and none of them were able to pay your bills? Am I the only one? Come on now, put something in the chat. Put a 3 in the chat if you can relate or you've seen it. Those were drizzles. I couldn't pay my bills on drizzles. It's because when I studied, and I've studied hundreds of multimillionaires, people, world changers. I've met over 6 billionaires personally. When I look at what they did, they had one main business that they focused on, and it funded their investments. And those investments created multiple streams of income without distracting them from their main business. And if they have more than one business, then after that one was built solid, then they were able to focus on that new one main business, but the other one was already solid. So it's one. Put one in the chat for me if you're with me. So that's B, is to build one. And then C is to control your expenses. So this little arrow here in black is your after-tax income. Because now that I've gone over the ABCs of financial independence, let's talk about the 1, 2, 3s. The 1, 2, 3s, this is the best I've ever seen from the most prosperous people I've ever met. And I'm talking good, godly people, not people out there greedy. This is not about greed of money. Greed of money is the root of all kinds of evils. This is the exact opposite of that. This is learning to control money so it does not any longer control our lives. So here are the 3 steps. And the key I've learned is that before we pay our bills, those who follow this principle, this formula, are automatically on the path to financial independence. Automatically. Success. How many want success on autopilot? Not stress, not force, autopilot. So the successful people I've studied, the prosperous people I've studied, they do 3 things before they pay their bills. And those who don't become financially independent pay their bills first and don't have much left to do these 3 things. And until we put these 3 things as a priority, we end up struggling for the rest of our lives. We become a slave to money, a slave to bills, our time. What is the number one thing that sucks up the majority of people's time? It's working for money. So here are those 3 things. Number 1, give 10%. The people I know that are prosperous, they are givers. I'm talking about the ones who sustain it. Like it's godly prosperity. And somehow it just keeps coming back. I got a chance to spend time with the late, great Paul J. Meyer, billionaire philanthropist, at his ranch in Salado, Texas. And I remember having brunch with him, lunch, brunch, whatever you call it. He had ostrich there, ostrich eggs. Oh, it was crazy. But I remember him talking about how he was trying to give away everything, and he had to hire 4 people to help give his money away because it kept growing. The more he gave, the more it kept growing. So that's number one, give 10%. Number two, save and invest 10% before paying bills. Save and invest 10%. This builds up that cash reserves. A lot of people say 6 months, 12 months, whatever it is, and then start investing, and that investment portfolio starts to create more and more cash flow because it's not to be spent. It's not to consume. It's just to reproduce, to build wealth. And then the third is the debt-free account. 10% to pay off debt faster. I heard a lot of people say, I want to become debt-free this year. The fastest plan I've seen for paying off debt is called the debt snowball method. You can Google it, YouTube it, the debt snowball method, where you pay the minimum, you list all of your debts in order of smallest to biggest. Smallest one, smallest balance. Then the next one, list them all out. You pay the minimum balance on everything, and you put extra on the first one until it's paid off. And then you roll over that extra plus that minimum payment from number one to debt number two. Now you're putting that extra plus the minimum payment from number one that no longer exists on top of debt number two. And then you snowball that to number three, and then number four, number five, and let it keep snowballing until the debt is gone. And now all that money you were spending on debt service is available to put into your savings and investment accounts. That's the plan, family. So these 3 things before we pay bills, that means we have to learn to live off of 70%. And if the 70% isn't enough, we either need to lower our expenses or increase our income, or both. Lower expenses, increase income, or both, but that's literally the plan. I'm not a financial planner, financial advisor. This is not financial advice. I'm just sharing you what I've seen work. This is for educational purposes. What I've seen work for a lot of successful people, tons of millionaires and billionaires. So here's what it looks like. Liabilities take money out of our pocket every month, period. You buy something and it's now taking more money out of your pocket every month than it's putting in your pocket. An asset is something that puts more money in your pocket every month than it takes out of your pocket. And this is why Kiyosaki taught us that our house is not an asset. Unless you're renting it all out and the rents are putting more money into your pocket than the whole house takes out of your pocket, it's a liability, not an asset. Because the real definition of an asset is it puts more money in our pocket than it takes out every month. So our car is not an asset unless you're putting that thing on Turo or renting it out and it's bringing in more money than it's costing you, then it's an asset. Otherwise, it's a liability. So assets, that emergency fund, that 10%, that 10% flows down and fills up that emergency fund or reserves, and then flows into that investment portfolio. And maybe you're investing in dividend stocks. I love dividend stocks that they pay you money to buy the stock. They share the profits with you to buy the stock. I'm like, I got to own at least one share of some of these major companies. Look up the term dividend aristocrat and dividend kings. These companies have been paying consistently for 25, 50 plus years dividends. It's passive income owning the stock. Some of my wealthiest mentors, they buy dividend stocks and they hold it. They don't care if it goes up and down because they're getting that dividend. And over time, it just grows and grows, and they reinvest the dividend back in to buy more and more stock. And that portfolio builds up, and their asset column is paying cash flow. It's taxed on one of the smallest tax percentages because dividends, you pay less in taxes than earned income. I'm like, it's brilliant. And then they borrow against it to buy other assets because you can borrow against it. What? So that's one easy thing. You can set up an account for free and start buying one share of, Chevron gas station, buy one share of Starbucks, buy one share of something, but we can start today. We don't have to wait. You can start with like $50, $100. But that's one way to start that investment portfolio, just changing the pattern where 10% is not going to be spent, it's going straight into the asset column. So that's the investment portfolio. This is the key to financial independence, family. If you want some more education, I have a link, BornCEO.com/investing. BornCEO.com/investing. Some tips from some of my wealth mentors and some things that you can do right now to start changing this. Get the children doing this early on and watch how the pattern shifts. It's not difficult. It's as simple as ABC and 1, 2, 3. Maybe you just never heard it laid out this plainly. But now we can do this together when we're implementing this together. Now, here's where that B quadrant business comes in, your residual income business. What I learned is that as I built up my customer database in my business, because it was subscription-based, it is subscription-based, not only am I serving the customers with ongoing value, but it's creating consistent residual income. I like to call early retirement income. So every single customer that you acquire, that you bring on board to in your business, that you serve in your business, is another asset, creating cash flow. So your residual income business, to me, is like an empty apartment building that you own. Imagine owning a multi-million-dollar apartment building. And then every customer that you serve is like a tenant paying you rent every month. That's your ongoing repeat customers. But also, as you build a team, every business is building a team. Every job we work at, we're a part of the team. There's a system, and then there's a team running the system. The job description is the system. And so you're building your own team in your business, and each team member creates another stream of revenue. As they acquire customers, you're like a franchisor earning a licensing fee. But I think of them, it's like a property manager bringing you more tenants for your apartment building. They get paid very well, and so do you. Get a small percentage of cash flow from all these tenants. They're bringing you more and more customers. So each stream of income, your business, your one business has multiple streams of income within it, multiple assets. That's the brilliance behind the network marketing business model. I've never seen a house give birth to another house, an income producing house give birth to another house. You buy a property, go away for a year, come back, and there's 10 more property babies that just came out of nowhere. No, it doesn't happen. But in the network marketing business, you can develop a person to be successful in their business. And as they thrive and create consistent cash flow for themselves, it also creates a small percentage of consistent cash flow for you. The best asset you can invest in is a human being. The most appreciable asset as well. So anyway, this is the how I became financially independent by the age of 22 years old. Didn't mean I was rich. It meant my passive income was greater than my total expenses. I no longer needed my job. I had a consistent, steady passive income in spite of my job. So the 10 hours a week that I invested in my business started generating more than my 40-hour-a-week job. I no longer needed that 40-hour-a-week job. It gave me back 40 hours a week of my life. So whatever you choose, whether it's a network marketing business or another residual income type business, have something in your asset column that is generating residual income. If you need support with that, this is why I have a coaching program at BornCEO.com for business coaching. I have one specifically for network marketing breakthrough coaching. And so we can all get free together, whether you take the traditional route, whether you're an information marketer, whether you are a network marketer, whether you're a traditional entrepreneur, we've got the resources so we can grow together. I told you I'm a nerd, right? I've invested hundreds of thousands of dollars outside of college and tens of thousands of hours learning and practicing and learning from the best of the best out there that I could find so I could break it down and simplify it and empower our BornCEO community to go out and win. And any proceeds that come in from the coaching programs and the books helps to support our nonprofit BornCEO Leadership Academy. Because we want to get this message into the youth, the teenagers, and adults of all ages so that we can all grow faster. We do have the power to change now. And so that 10% in the debt-free account, we talked about it, that 10%, that's that extra. What if you have $5,000 a month coming in and you're putting 10%, $500 a month on top of the minimum payment of your debt? How fast is that bad boy going to get paid off? And then you keep rolling that thing down. This is the fastest way I've seen for the average person to become debt-free. So let me pause right here. Let's open it up. What's landing on you? so far tonight? What's impacting you the most? Give us a quick 10, 30 seconds on what's impacting you and what are you going to implement coming out of here? Go ahead and raise your digital hands and unmute yourselves.
Well, for me, you just gave the blueprint on how to become debt free. Many years ago, I started off with Rich Dad Poor Dad, and I read the quadrant, the book that you showed us today, and you just brought back memories and reminded me what my goals were. I lost sight of that, and you helped me today to gain sight and to restart that path again. Thank you very much, sir.
You're welcome, my friend. And what are you going to implement this week?
This week, when I get any type of income, my income, start splitting my income up to 10, 10, 10, 70%.
Everybody show some love. Woo, woo. Who was that? I don't see everybody on my screen while I'm sharing. Was that Mr. Hardy?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yep.
Awesome. Awesome.
Yep.
Congrats in advance. We look forward to hearing the success stories, and make sure you all join our Facebook community. When you registered for this, it's in your email. Check your email and join our Facebook community. Post your progress in here. Post your progress. Don't use it to pitch anybody if you're in business or whatever, but post your progress, what you're learning. Comment under the video so we can all be inspired from each other and grow together. That's what this community is all about. Some of you know people charge tens of thousands of dollars to get what I just gave you for free. And it's not broken down that plainly, ABC 1, 2, 3, so you can immediately implement. So run with it, family. Run with it. Let's speed this thing up and create the success stories and start shifting our communities. Who's next? I see, jump right in. Who's next? Ms. Evelyn?
Hi, Coach Bardbell. So to me, it's more like a question. This is the third time I'm watching this and I'm learning each time. I'm adding more notes. So for me, I'm just being transparent, right? On the liabilities, I'm going to do the give 10%, save, and the third debt-free, right? So on the liabilities, the credit cards 1 and 2 are paid every month with no interest. There's no student loan, there's no car loan, and I'm paying down my mortgage. But the biggest question for me is, am I on the right track? I will implement the 1, 2, 3. First give 10%, second 10%, and then debt-free 10%. And then I'm going to shift and pay the bills rather than paying the bills first. That's like a big half for me, really, really big. But so then am I on the right track? I'm adding more to my principal because the biggest dream, one of my biggest dream is to pay off my mortgage, but I still have this big question mark.
Okay.
Am I on the right path? There's like, it's not quite clicking.
Here's my answer for you. If you're doing A, B, C, and 1, 2, 3, you are on the path of financial independence, period.
Okay.
I wanted to make it so plain that there's no ambiguity, there's no confusion, even if it doesn't seem like it's making much of a difference. There's a book called The Slight Edge, How Little Things Compound Over Time. You are on the right track if you're doing the ABCs and the 1, 2, 3s. Now remember, there's a balance here. Notice how your debt is going down, but your assets are going up at the same time. So that second 10% is increasing your investment portfolio. Make sure you're not spending that. Make sure that that's generating interest or dividends and it's growing. And you don't have to do anything fancy and complicated yet. It could be as simple as starting with dividend stock. And then once you learn another investment strategy that's more lucrative or better for you, you can sell the shares and invest in something else. But check out some of the educational resources at BornCEO.com/investing for that second 10%. But that third 10% is paying down your debt. The second 10% is increasing your cash flow from assets. And as long as you are increasing your assets from the money you're investing and increasing your assets from your residual income business, you are not only on track, you're going to run rings around everybody else. Because only 10% of the population has figured this out, and that's why they control all the wealth.
Quick question though, but the second save invest 10%, right now I'm just investing in CDs, no stock dividends yet. It's just a very small amount though.
Well,
So work towards that.
First of all, congratulations, because you're doing something. You're
Yes.
getting it away from being spent, and
Yes.
hopefully it's earning a little bit of interest.
Yeah,
Pay attention.
tiny bit.
Pay attention
Tiny
to
bit.
all the. Pay attention. Don't just listen to what people tell you either. You know, make sure you subtract all the fees that come along with certain investments as well to see if you're really actually making money or if it's going to them to make them richer.
Yeah.
But just watch BornCEO.com/investing. Watch the
Okay.
videos on there, and that'll
Okay.
give you some tips from my mentors.
And there's one thing I'm going to implement is start a separate business account, because before it was just part of my checking and I'm not really seeing it. So now I've been wanting to, but I keep procrastinating. So it's creating a separate business account so I see what's coming in.
Yes, yes, yes. And
Thank
when you separate that business account, first of all, you're going to feel more like a real business owner. Second of all, you'll be able to separate the business income so you can put aside money for taxes. Notice it says after-tax income. You know, I like the idea of just putting aside the first 20% for taxes in the business account so that money was there for taxes. A lot of people get in trouble with that. I've made that mistake before of not doing that. But in your business account, put aside 20% off the top for taxes, and then start allocating, but pay yourself a small percentage and realize that business money is not your money. That's the company's money. And just like the company you may work for, they don't give you access to the whole company business account and say, hey, go pay all your bills with it. No, they pay you a check out of the business account into your personal account. So as the born CEO of your business, you want to pay yourself a check out of your business account into your personal account as well. And that's your actual paycheck. The rest is for your business to be able to reinvest and grow. Is that helpful?
Yes, yes.
And then get with your CPA, get with your tax attorney, business attorney, and find out whether your LLC needs to be taxed as write this down, even if you don't understand it, everybody, if it needs to be taxed as a sole proprietorship, or if it's better to be taxed as an S corporation. Sole proprietorship or an S corporation. And based on your income, your tax professional or financial professional can give you advice on whether to start right out with it being taxed like an S corporation or a sole proprietorship.
The business is not that big yet to do an LLC.
Well, check with your professionals on that opinion. I would don't lean to your own understanding is my advice on that. Ask your professionals whether or not it's worth doing it, because there's other protections to having an LLC and other potential benefits. So check with your professionals is my whole point, everybody. But show some love to Ms. Evelyn. I look forward to hearing the progress. See, this is what I'm excited about. See, I've been to seminars. And here's what happens. I've been going to seminars since I was 16 years old. And it breaks my heart because I could, right when we're inspired, we're getting all this information, and put a number in the chat if you know what I'm talking about. Put a number 5 in the chat if you know what I'm talking about. You get inspired, you got the recipe, like, oh my gosh, this is gonna work, and you're in this positive environment and you're inspired, and then towards the end of the seminar, something inside you goes, oh crap. What am I gonna do when I leave this environment? Where do I start? What do I do? and the overwhelm kicks in, or the confusion, or you read a good book and it's got the recipe in it, but for some reason we never get around to consistently implementing it. So Born CEO Coaching, my company is Born CEO Coaching, that helps fund Born CEO Leadership Academy. And it's designed to help people implement, not just learn or get inspired, but to implement. So I'm so glad to hear not only what impacted you, but what you're going to implement this week. All right, Ms. Falana, what impacted you today, and what are you going to, the most, and what are you going to implement this week?
I can honestly tell you it is the truth. What was just said, you do that 10%, it never runs out. I am going to go back and restructure a lot of things. I have been doing it since actually Mr. Crothers said that at one time, and it is so true. I've gotten off track some. So I am getting back on track. I already have the LLC and I have a business account, and I need to go back and put all of that up under my business. I've been kind of lazy about that one. Not
But you're going to
just
do it,
wait.
right?
I'm going. Oh yeah, it's got to get done. It's got to get done. This is so much.
Awesome.
I come from a great grandfather who founded a credit union because of many different things that we weren't able to get. And so he was also an economic preaching deacon. So it's all woven
Wow,
in.
it's in
So
your
I
DNA.
agree exactly with you when you say the biblical principles, they're right there and they're hand in hand. And I will say that um since being in a network marketing business, reading, I actually understood the Bible more. I said, oh, now I get it. These people keep
Yes.
going to church saying the same thing and they can't figure this out. It's too wordy or whatever. It doesn't equate to real world to them at this point. But I can tell anybody, and I'm like you, I'm a nerd. This is just one thing.
Love it.
And I have a
Okay.
whole nother library because again, I follow the mentors of rich people
Awesome.
have big libraries, poor people have big TVs.
There it is. All right. Show some love, everybody. Congrats in advance. And make sure you post your progress inside of the Born CEO Movement Facebook community as well. I love it. Love it. All right, Miss Foster.
And
Oh,
oh, I'm sorry.
real quick.
One other thing, and then this now really hit home. The streamer team 1, 2, 3, 4. Again, like I said, you could have all the ideas and be all over, but build one and let it fund everything else. So I've known it, but it just clicked today. There's just like a aha. So thank you so
Awesome.
much
You're
for
welcome.
dedicating your time, your energy, your knowledge to people who are really wanting it. It's here. So all we got to do is stay the course.
Oh, I'm so glad to hear it. Bring back the success stories next week. And will y'all please bring me some teenagers? We need to
Oh,
get
I'm
this
going
into the
to.
youth, y'all. Come on now.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
In fact, I might start spinning the wheel and giving some money away to the teenagers to encourage them or something. Do a little contest in here. But man, this is what I was looking for at 14 years old. I spent tens of thousands of dollars studying accounting, and all I was looking for is what I just shared with y'all. And I got it in a $25 book, $15 book. But I still didn't get it all the way. It had to be, I need ABC 1, 2, 3, like I just laid it out to you all. And so powerful. All right, Miss Foster.
Yes, sir.
What's your biggest impact and what you're going to implement this week?
Okay. On the 1, 2, 3, I already give the 10%. I save and invest with a mutual fund. I had started a year or so ago doing the debt-free 10%, where that method here is snowball method, but I use the debt stacking method. However, I got sidetracked because I should have been out of debt next year, but it's going to be another year or so. And my thing is that I had called, I had paid off credit cards. And because you don't use them within a certain number of years, they send you a letter and say that they're going to cancel. So I asked, they're going to close it. So I called ID Shield to see if that would impact on my credit score. And believe it or not, they told me, yes, it will impact on my credit score. But I don't want to open up those same cards that I have already paid off, because that was the purpose of paying them off, so I can get rid of them. So now I have an appointment, believe it or not, with my financial guy, and I'm going to reinvest money I invest money every month, but I'm going to increase it so that I can start building my retirement a little more than what it is right now.
Awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. And are you doing B? Are you building a residual income business?
Yes.
Okay, because I heard you say it's going to take another year. But if you get focused on your residual income business, you can actually multiply your income and have more. That 10% gets even bigger, and you can accelerate both columns where you're giving more, you're saving more, and saving and investing more, and your debt's going down even faster by really building that goose that lays the golden eggs.
Well, what I did, I think it was year before last, is that I took the money from my thrift plan, because it had been in there for multiple years and had not even done much of nothing. And I reinvested that. And I thought I closed that one when I took my money out, but believe it or not, it's back in again. It's growing again. So I'm getting ready to take that and put it in another mutual fund.
You know what? You know what? I always hear stories like that from people who give that first 10% for some strange reason. Right?
Really?
Blessings just come out of nowhere, it seems like. It's a consistent thing. All right, so you're going to be implementing that acceleration plan and getting with your financial person. Is that what I'm hearing you're going to implement?
Yes. And then God blessed me to pay my car off in September. So
Woo-hoo!
I've been using the car note money if I need tires or maintenance, instead of putting it on my credit card and all of that good stuff. So now I'm going to, starting tomorrow, I'm going to put money in a special account of the car note money, that because if I feel like if I could sacrifice and do without $548 a month for 5 years, then I can still do without it and put it in an account and then reinvest it for myself.
Congrats in advance. Everybody show some love for Miss Foster and everybody who shared so far. I would encourage you to, Miss Foster, check out the videos at BornCEO.com/investing and,
Okay.
and compare what my wealth mentor is saying to what your financial planner has.
Okay.
And decide if you want to do a percentage there, a percentage somewhere else, or whatever is best for you. But congrats in advance. Keep the success stories coming. All right, Miss Selena Scott, what impacted you most, and what are you going to implement this week?
I don't know how to work this thing because I'm looking at you, but I know my camera is off.
You look good. Whatever you're doing, you can keep it right there.
Okay, so what I can see myself, but I want to flip through. I'm not real tech savvy.
Oh,
Which
maybe swipe the screen left or
yeah,
right.
yeah, I did that, and that's how I see me, and know that's okay. But I want to do something else because, so let me say this real quick. I was in Facebook. I was in a Facebook room. I'm always a couple of minutes late because I be trying to find the link, and it's on the email from me signing up with you. And so it's always real crazy. It takes me a while to find the email and all that crap. So I was on in Facebook, but I don't know if you realize, like, Facebook, it just got too much going on. And I couldn't do what I want to do, how I take notes and screenshots, and I couldn't. So I asked somebody to get me out of there. So now I'm over here.
And I would
But
suggest for
now,
everybody to take the link from your email and then schedule it in your phone calendar and then set it for weekly. So it's already in your phone and you can just click it.
The link, put it in the calendar.
Yep.
Okay.
Set an
That's a
appointment in
good
your
idea.
calendar and then copy and paste that message into it. So you can
It's
just
in
click it.
there, but that one isn't in there.
And
You're on for my weekly. You're on my calendar,
no
but
worries.
the link,
We're,
I need to put the link.
just so you know, we're about to run out of time. So I don't want to rush you, but give us real quick, what's the one thing that impacted you most and the one thing you're going to implement the most this week?
Well, I will say this is looking for the link. It was a quote that you put up there initially. Here it is. It says because whatever you train, what is it? You've
Whatever you
traded your
trade. Oh,
time
life
is
is
what you
spelled
literally
TIME, because whatever
right.
you trade your time for is literally what you traded your life for.
Yeah.
That hit you.
And yeah, because I work so hard and that's all I ever do. That's all I feel like I do. Like I'm in a literally in a rat race where I'm constantly working, even though I'm an entrepreneur, whether I'm on corporate America side or whether I'm an entrepreneur, I feel like I'm constantly working and I can't work my business as much. Does that make sense? And so now I'm back to being full-time entrepreneurial status. But yet again, I work, well, no, because I gotta make money right now, money, because everything else is it's just not. I have a couple of business, I have a LLC, I have an incorporated, I pay my 10%. I tried to invest, and that didn't, I gotta hold back, I gotta try it again. So I'm doing some things, but I don't, or this other part, and I'll be quiet. But I read books, I attend seminars, I'm working for myself or I do Uber so that I have right now money to pay my bills, but I feel like I'm constantly working. I'm working all the time. And I make time to get information so that I could develop, but I don't know. Like I want to make money in my businesses. Even though I do the other business with Legal Shield and I'm a manager, I work so hard. And my team that's another whole situation I
So am
wanted
I
to
hearing you say
discuss.
you're ready to start working smarter instead of just harder?
I wish I knew the way because I
Okay,
feel
I know
like
the
I
way.
have to work.
You're talking to the right person. So
Oh,
I have two resources for you. Look at both of them and figure out which one will work best for you or both. Go to BornCEO.com. You're in network marketing, obviously. Yes.
yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And so I have a business coaching program, BornCEO Business Coaching, but I also have network marketing breakthrough coaching. And I highly recommend you get into the network marketing breakthrough coaching. And if you're not ready for that, then get into my monthly boot camp for network marketers. And I'll teach you how to work smarter instead of harder and accelerate your growth. Sounds good?
It sounds great if I could get that in the chat before we close out.
BornCEO.com.
Right, but you gave me several different ones. So
Oh,
that's
the name of
network
it. Are
marketing.
you connected with me on social media?
I don't know.
Or even in the Born CEO Movement Facebook group? Let me put it in the chat for you now. But you'll see it, network marketing. Just look for the words network marketing, and there's only two things on there at BornCEO.com. I don't have time to type out all those words, but just go to BornCEO.com, click network marketing, or reply to the email you got from me, and we'll make sure we get that over to you.
When did you send the email?
The email that you registered with to get here.
Okay, I'll go back.
The Born CEO email. We'll get you squared away. And then find me on social media. I'm Coach Fardbell everywhere. And we'll make
I'm
sure
on
we
your
get you going.
Facebook. I know for fact I'm on your Facebook, but
Okay, no
that's
problem.
it.
We'll get you squared away. Get in there, and I'm gonna get you straight. We'll get you straight. You were on there this morning too, weren't you?
I was.
Yeah. Get into that program. We're gonna get you straight so you're not all over the place. Okay?
Okay, yes, sir.
All
So I'm
right,
gonna
show
find
some
him. I'll
love
go
for
on
Miss Scott,
Facebook.
everybody. Send me a message, coachfarbell@gmail.com, by the way. Coachfarbell@gmail.com. That's my email address. All right, I'll make sure you get squared away. All right.
Thank you.
Anybody else? Let me check the chat. I want to hear from everybody, at least in the chat. What impacted you most? Shelly Jasper says, I have a teenager on. What's the name, Miss Jasper? Hey, hey. Welcome, welcome. All right. Haley T, what impacted you the most, and what are you going to implement this week? You'll be the last one.
So I'm very new to all this, and I mean, I'm very interested in learning about it all. I feel like I have heard bits and pieces from Shelly and getting to go on some of these trips with her and reading some of the books. And I've tried to implement saving, doing like 10% and figuring out my expenses and stuff because I haven't faced all the big stuff that everyone else does. But it's very like nerve-wracking, but I would like to try to see if I can build up into figuring out like that side gig type of thing, you know?
Okay. And how old are
But
you?
it's all new to me. I'm figuring it out.
How old are you right now?
I'm 19, so it's all
Awesome. Okay, so I have a special gift for you. If you want to take advantage of it. I'm going to gift you my business coaching program. We meet every week and I coach business owners, and I'll help pull out your business from you and help you build a structure around it. That
Okay.
program right now is $9.97 to get in and $97 a month to stay in. I'm going to gift that to you for free if you promise to take advantage of it and implement it and be one of our teenager success stories.
Really?
Is that a deal?
I can try.
All right. Good. Congrats in advance. Send me a message. Shelly can get you connected with me
Okay.
on social media or coachfarbell@gmail.com. And what's your last name, Haley?
Thien, Thien.
Awesome. I look forward to it. Everybody make some noise for Miss Haley. Woo woo.
Mr. Farbell.
Awesome. Yes.
Mr. Farbell, I'm 15.
All right. Who's this? Oh, that's too funny. I know that's right. Mr. Hardy.
Oh
Oh
boy.
man, I thought you looked young.
No. My son, if the Lord's will, the next workshop you do, I'm gonna invite my son, my daughter, and probably my wife. My son is 14. My
Okay.
daughter is 11. So
Awesome.
yeah,
You can sneak the 11-year-old in if she's interested.
she had no choice if I.
Perfect. Well,
Yeah.
I'm excited. See what happens when you speak up, everybody? So, family, we're going to wrap up with this. How many got value from today's session? This is chapter 3. There's so much more. Like, I got a whole structure around how to start a business from scratch, from all the things I learned as a kid, from being shy and overcoming my shyness and timid and, mowing lawns, cutting grass, shoveling snow on the East Coast and snacks and candy. I ended up being that kid in high school with 5 lockers with snacks and candy for sale. Pizza by the slice, $300 a day in profit in high school as a shy kid coming out of my shell, applying some of these principles. So that's why I get excited when teenagers come, especially because we can help them avoid some of the mistakes that we made and help them actually be in the right track for financial independence before they ever get stuck in the rat race. And so, family, thank you all for supporting. Thank you for continuing to grow. I'm excited about BornCEO Leadership Academy. We're going to have some special things for those that want to help support the nonprofit as well. But hey, let's go out there and continue to be the born CEOs of our lives. And so if you can unmute your line and repeat after me. I'm the born CEO of my mind.
I'm the
I'm the
born
born
The
CEO
born
of my
CEO
mind.
of
CEO
my
of my
mind.
mind.
I'm the born CEO of
I'm
my
the
gift.
born CEO of my mind.
I'm
I'm
the
the
born CEO.
CEO of my gift.
And I'm the born CEO of my time.
And
I'm
I'm
the
the
I'm
born
born
the
CEO
CEO
of
of
my
my
CEO of
time.
my
time.
time.
Let's go
And
make
I
it
am the
happen,
born
family.
CEO of
Implement
my
the
time.
plan, and I look forward to seeing everybody next week. Love you all.
Bye.
Mr.
Bye.
Coach Carbell,
Let me mute this
Thank
off.
you.
I'm a
Thank Coach Darren.